Welcome to Emancipated Studio. Welcome my uncle, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block.
Salute, 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 salute. Yes, it's been a minute since I have been doing a live show. You know, for some of you, I want to thank you so much for sending in your prayers, your loves, the whole 9 yards. I'm getting better. I'm getting a little bit more healthier. But, I had to step out on the stage. But before we go there, boy, y'all got these YouTube streets rocking, don't you? Boy, y'all talking about this Will, Jada, and Chris Rock slap that was heard all around the world. Boy, y'all talking about this more than y'all talked about the Tasha K. Cardi B. I mean, y'all got it on fire out here, But I've been rocking. I've been laying back. Y'all sitting up here talking about these Jezebel spirits. Got me putting on my cross, burning sage around here, and then having to turn around, throw some incense in the air, doing salat prayers. Boy, y'all just pulling out the Bible on this situation. But before we go into tonight's topic, let me give a big shout out to Bolo TV in the house, Vaughn in the house, and my man, JC the Conqueror in the house. And yes, Bino Nation is in the house. DRH9D is in the house. And of course, my girl, Brittany B, the hardest working woman on these YouTube streets. And to everybody that's listening in the back, salute, 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 salute. And also Women's Fair versus Manosphere. Boy, you've been trying to put in the work. You've been putting in work. And of course, you got my big sister by 2 months is in the house. And the one and only Brown Eyes, who's had to take care of old Hunk here. I guess she earned her extra carat diamond. So I got to go out and step up the game, fellas. I got to step it up. But I am not going to really be with you too long, but we're going to get into a conversation that really needs to be had. I've seen all the news reports dealing with Will, Jada, and Chris Rock. I've watched a lot of commentary on the subjects from Courtney Michelle, Angry Man, Black Man Unsolicited, as well as some other YouTubers. And while I am not here to debate any of these YouTubers, while I'm not here to normally do reactionary videos to what's going on, but I felt that there was a conversation that we really need to have. And I want to bring an angle to this situation in which each and every single one of us can find our own selves in. And some of us has probably been in those situations and we never really talked about it. As you can see from the thumbnail, I made it clear. Will Smith, alpha. Chris Rock, alpha. And there's a reason why I'm speaking in that manner tonight. Now, I want everybody to really understand that when I begin to speak about Will Smith, I want you to really understand that he's been given this term, simp, which comes from the word simpleton, a simple man. But I'm here to tell you that Will Smith is not simple at all. If I had to really give this talk a title, it's called The Danger of One-Sided Unconditional Love. Let me say that again. The real title should be The Danger of One-Sided Unconditional Love. I want to talk about Will Smith and why I will not call him a simpleton, why I call him a full alpha man, why I say that he is not a simpleton for the simple fact that he done things that no other rapper or artist has done. but I also want to put Will Smith in the right mind frame. And what do I mean? A lot of us is judging Will Smith on what we know as Black men today. We know from the manosphere, whether it's the Red Pill community or various Black content creators, we understand a lot of things today. But Will Smith grew up in a time where there was no manosphere. There was no Red Pill. There was no anything that a Black man could go to and get the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding and the insights that we have today. So I'm not here to justify him, but I am here to try to bring just a little bit of clarity and a little bit of understanding to why Will did what he did, lived the way he lived, and the danger of where he is now. Will Smith, as a rapper, started off with what we call the feel-good music. But his feel-good music came at a time in where we had the quote-unquote thug music, the gang music coming up. And Will Smith did what LL Cool J couldn't do. He also did what MC Hammer couldn't do. What do I mean? LL Cool J was rapping about love songs. And he went up to get in the war and the people booed LL Cool J. He was booed off of the stage because he was considered not hard enough, not thug enough, not street enough. And in order for him to come back from that, he came back with the album called Mama Said Knock You Out, which gave him street credibility. He then went on to do movies and acting. But he never really recovered of just being a person that could just do hip hop in the love genre. MC Hammer also faced the same criticism. He was the feel-good music, did a whole lot of dancing, even tried to help his people by having bigger and bigger performances to put everybody on payroll. And he too was criticized for not being hard enough. Later we find out that MC Hammer ended up filing for bankruptcy. And we basically never heard from MC Hammer again until later. Now he's doing these, what I call cheesy commercials. But not Will Smith. Will Smith was able to take his Philadelphia sound, feel-good music, and convert it into a movie, into shows that propelled him to do bigger and better things in his acting career. And so he was able to be a pivotal person who successfully navigated his hip-hop career into great iconic movies. No other rapper that we know in our lifetime has ever successfully done this. But there's something else about Will Smith and that early 90s that many people have not touched on. What was the mind of a Christian man in the early 90s? A lot of teachings that came out of the church taught Black men to love women unconditionally. They taught us to love our women. As a matter of fact, I got Bolo TV in the chat. What they really taught was that the Bible says a man is to love a woman, but it never says that a woman is to love a man. In hindsight, that's the most dangerous teachings that was ever given in the church. Will Smith married Jada Pinkett. Yes, he did. And he gave Jada Pinkett what he was taught to give her: unconditional love. unconditional. This is what women was crying for in the 90s. I made a statement on Mosaic with TJ Washington TJ Randolph, when I said, Black women, you asked for something, and when you got it, you didn't know what to do with it. And now that the brothers had leveled up, now you're complaining. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Black women say they want a man to love them as they are. Black women said they want a man to love all of them. They're good, they're bad, and they're ugly. Black women say, love me and take care of me and protect me. That's what you said you wanted. And guess what? Jada Pinkett Smith got all of it. She got a man that loved her unconditionally. Loved her through everything a man could love a woman through. And I'm going to say with boldness, I don't blame Will Smith at all. Why? Just because you didn't want to receive the love, Jada, don't mean he was a bad man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I said this on Angry Man, and I'm saying this to every man. Just because you did right, because she didn't receive the love you gave, don't mean you're a bad man. And it don't mean that you're a simpleton. You're a good man. Will Smith went to the highest mark of masculinity that any man can be. Now let's be honest. There's some of us as men that sometimes when our homes ain't right, it made us a better man outside that home. Sometimes when things ain't right in the house, we kind of put our energy and our efforts into our jobs. And it made us even better at the craft that we have. Basically, everything Will Smith touched turned to gold. So Will Smith was the iconic father and husband, but I'm going to touch on the husband. I know a lot of people have criticized him for the things that is taking place in his home. But I'm going to ask everyone to be a little cautionary. Because Uncle Stu been where Will Smith is, and I don't believe I'm the only man that's been down this road. There's a lot of men, married and single, that has loved women unconditionally. We accepted some of your foolish ways. We accepted some of your foolish minds. We accepted you skinny and fat and sick, rich and poor. We accepted it. We accepted you. But the question of the night is, did you accept us? The danger of unconditional love coming back one way. Will Smith did what he was supposed to do as a man. He loved her. He made sure she was what? Her protection, he bought her a house. Her protection, she had no needs, financial or social needs whatsoever. He was a man, not a simpleton. He did what we as men is taught to do, take care of our wives and take care of our families to the best of our ability. The question is, how many of you women is running around here like little Jadas? Oh yeah, it's about to get hot and heavy up in here. You throw stones at Jada now. Oh, y'all throwing stones at her now. Oh, y'all calling her every name in the book now. But there's a whole lot of you Jadas running around here. I know. I done met a bunch of Jada, the Pickets. See, you Jadas do things like this. Well, I didn't tell him to buy me them flowers. Uh-oh. I didn't tell him to go buy me a car. I didn't tell him to do this. See, that's how you're throwing the stone. But I'm about to get real up in here today. A whole lot of you Jadas is doing the same thing she's doing. Oh, yeah, you got your red table talk. Them girlfriends that you talking to and telling your girlfriends how piss poor and sad your man is. Some of you Jadas sent men to prison. Some of you Jadas turned around and you made your man slap a Chris Rock in your life. Uh-oh. Some of you have done things that has sent black men to prison because you wanted to be a Jada Pickett. Some of you women running around calling Will Smith a simp is one of the most sorriest simpleton terminologies you can use against a black man. And I'm sick and tired of any woman that calls Will Smith a simp, because many of you had a real good man and you refused to acknowledge that man. And now you're going to call out a man who gave her unconditional love? And you gonna call him a simpleton? Now wonder you alone. Yeah, I was him. I did right by many women. You said you wanted flowers that I bought. You said you wanted me to make sure you had a roof over your head, and I did it. And for one person, you said you needed a place to stay and a car to drive, and I did it. But you didn't want it, because I saw how you reacted. I want every man to know right here, right now. And y'all listen to me, because I said it on Angry Man, but I'm going to say it right here on this platform. Brothers, just because you did right by a woman and she didn't want to reciprocate it, it ain't your fault. You walk with your head held up high right here, right now, knowing that you're a good damn man. And if she didn't want to respect you as a man, it ain't your fault. Put your head back up on your shoulders and lean back and say, I am a good man. And just because she didn't want to receive your goodness don't mean you're a bad man. And I am now tired of people calling my brothers broke. Let me tell you something. Will Smith didn't go into that marriage broke. She did. Will Smith didn't go in there hurting, having mama issues. She did. Will Smith came in and walked in and continue to live in his total masculinity. Let's get into his total masculinity today. Will Smith did what most men should be doing. He did what the Bible says. He covered her sin. But she didn't want to act right. This ain't got nothing to do with Tupac Shakur. This got everything to do with a man who was taught to love a woman unconditionally, but what he wasn't taught was that, Will Smith, you deserve love too, sir. Will Smith, I know the church lied to you, but I'm here to tell you, you deserve love too. And I'm here to tell men today, my brothers, you deserve love too. let's get into the slap. Let's get into, I want to skip ahead for the moment because I want to introduce something that I don't think everybody really understands. So I want to bring some educational light to this understanding. I want to go beyond the slap. Now, you know, my niece, she got all the fancy stuff. She be sitting here pushing buttons and you see her little, I'm gonna have all that. Y'all give me a moment. Will Smith stood at the podium the night that he was supposed to get his Oscar. And I looked at Will Smith's eyes as the tears came running down. What did I see? I seen red pill rage. I seen red pill rage. So let me break it down for each and every single one of you. I saw a man who worked so hard, who gave so much, not only to his wife, not only to his children, but he gave so much to us as Black people, to us. According to Shannon Ross, who met him, said he can command a room. He loved us, that he tried to be the example of a man for us. When I saw the tears coming down that man's eyes, not only did I see red pill rage, I saw that one decision that can destroy our life. They say you're only as good as the last good thing you did. I think when he cried, not only did I see red pill rage, and I'm going to explain this whole thing together. I'm TJ, I know you're saying blue pill. I'm gonna explain the red pill in one quick moment. In that one moment, what took this man 30 years to accomplish was wiped away in 5 seconds. It was wiped away in 5 seconds. I want to talk to men and women right now. Each one of us is one decision away from being the most successful, but we're also one decision away from losing everything we got. One decision. One decision. You know, a lot of men went to prison because of one decision. Not a choice, a decision. And the reason I said that Will Smith is in red pill rage and not blue pill is because I have sat here for over 6 months watching people go after the red pill community. I've watched people talk about the red pill community. I've watched people condemn the red pill community. I've watched people crucify the red pill community. I've watched them call them crazy and every derogatory name in the book. But right now, what you don't understand about the red pill, it's when you come into a place where everything you thought was right, the confusion is that it looks so wrong. Everything that you knew to be right turned out to be so wrong. And I'm going to take you through the mindset because I, Uncle Stu, been there. when you make that decision and everything you thought was right, the outcome was so wrong. You don't have a vocabulary for the wrong. Everything you thought about a woman and love and everything you thought about this thing called the Bible, none of it manifested. There's something else that's not really talked about. Has anybody ever heard Will Smith's best friend? Has there ever been a man that has come out and said, I am Will Smith's best friend? I've been there too. You're so busy trying to love. And I want to thank y'all for these cash apps. I'm definitely going to star them and speak on them. You know, I thank you. Thank you. And you, in the midst of this marriage, just like in the midst of my ex-marriage, you're so busy fighting in the unconditional love that you find yourself pushing other men away because you're thinking you're doing the right thing. And a lot of times you find yourself at this particular moment in time in your life isolated and alone. Isolated and alone. Even O.J. Simpson had a best friend in the time of his crisis. When what's the famous golfer that's getting ready to try to get his green jacket? When he went through his mess, he had a best friend. I ain't heard nobody step up to say, I'm Will Smith's best friend. So now we find a man that is totally alone, isolated. Totally alone and isolated. But mentally, we had the audacity to call him a simpleton. Do you know the mental fortitude it takes to be able to be emasculated and still come out here to your people and smile? That's not a weak-minded man. Do you know the mental fortitude it takes for a man to be emasculated and try to hold back a tear before the public? That's not a simple-minded man. Simpleton? He is not. Came into a relationship bruised and hurt and mama issues? Sorry, I'm not accepting that. What I am going to accept is that right now, if you want to understand red pill rage, Will Smith is in it. There's no vocabularies. There's no words that can really explain the eternal emotional and psychological feelings that this man is having right now. This ain't a time for blame game. This is a time that man needs some healing. But he also is a catch-22. It's not a healing from the destruction of what happened in his marriage. It's a healing to say, my brother, you are not alone. And there's a lot of men that's in your position, and we're here to love you and to let you know, brother, you're not alone, because there's a whole bunch of us as Will Smiths that's out here. There's a whole lot of us that gave and gave and gave, and we didn't receive the love that we've been asking for. This is why TLA has had to come on the scene to say, I've seen what men go through. I've seen what happened in the courthouse. I've seen how these men were broken down because they couldn't see their kids, all because she was in her feelings. Let's not get it twisted. There's a lot of us that stayed in long-term relationships that was unhealthy to. So let's not act like some of us as men ain't been in long-term unhealthy relationships. Some of us is still in an unhealthy relationship. Some of us is still lying with a woman that's emasculating us every single day. So let's not get this twisted, man. But my sisters, don't get it twisted either. Because a lot of you running around here, like I said earlier, you're running around here with your Jada Pickett ass. You ran around here. You didn't want the dude that was giving you flowers and candy. You didn't want that dude that would come to your beck and call because you called them weak. So you got what you came for. My brothers, I'm going to say it again. Don't you feel ashamed that you did right by a woman. I don't care if that was your girl. I don't care if that was your fiance. I don't care if that was your wife. You look in the mirror right now and say, I'm still a good man. Oh, you may have got me, but I'm still a good man. I want y'all to know by Uncle Stu's example. You stay good. Now double up your good, because I guarantee you, brothers, you get your mind back right, you get some value in you, and Uncle Stu's going to come out with a lesson that's going to teach you about value your God and value you. I think Crimson Cure talks about the lost value system. I come to tell you right now, your value is right here. I don't care if you're living in a car right now. I don't care if you're living in a room right now. I don't care if you're laying next to the woman that's crucifying you. But I come to tell you right now, you are worthy of love. And let me tell you this. You worthy of love whether you got $5 in your pocket or you only got a penny in your pocket. You worthy of love because God created you. Period. You ain't got to be a 6-figure man, a 40K man. Just the fact that you able to wake up every single day and do something and be something and think something. You have value. Uncle Stu will help you. He got a whole crew of men around him that's going to help you be the man you want to be, and you can do it without a woman. Oh, yeah, I'm about to now talk about this. You can be the man you want to be, the way you want to be. You can have your own place, your own car, and you can have your own rules and walk worthy of knowing your manhood. Don't think Uncle Stu ain't been down certain paths and certain ways. I've been there. I know what it's like to live with a woman, and every day you're afraid that if you sneeze the wrong way, she gonna put you in the street. I know what it's like to do the right thing by a woman because you care about her and you cared about her needs and you cared about her situation, and she rejected you. Don't worry, it ain't you, bro. It ain't you. Let's go back to Red Pill. There's a lot of my brothers that are in the Red Pill community. And a lot of people don't understand that a lot of my brothers in the Red Pill community, they sound angry. But their anger is that they don't have the right words and the right expressions, because this deep level of mentality, this deep level of thought, this deep level of emotion hasn't been written yet. And you can't find it in the Bible. I'm about to go in there now. A lot of my brothers in the Red Pill sector, I used to say on this platform, and I've said it several times, when you look at them, do you know what you're looking at when you look at it? You think Will Smith want to hear from you damn women? Oh, yeah. You think he want to hear from you? You think he want to hear you say, well, Will Smith, you need to level up? You think Will Smith wants you to say to him, you need to level up? You got mommy issues. You broke right now. You think that's what Will Smith want to hear from you women? That's the same thing these red pill community is saying. They don't want to hear that from you either. You've been calling the red pill a bunch of social nerds and awkward and they this and they that. Will Smith is far from looking like a nerd and socially awkward. No way. No way. This is what you don't understand about the red pill community. To you, they look crazy. To me, they're a bunch of men who is looking for the vocabulary, for the voice, for the mindset. This is why some of them live vicariously through Fresh and Fit. That's why I never did a video against Fresh and Fit, because I get it. What's the vicarious living? If they can find somebody that can cuss out the women they wish they can cuss out, subconsciously they feel good. May not make sense to you, but I get it. This is why certain things that Kevin Samuels talk about, they live vicariously through Kevin Samuels. Why? Because Kevin Samuels can say the things they wish they could say, but they can't say it. Or they don't know how to say it. They don't have the words to say it. So for me, I'm not red pill. I don't act like I'm in the red pill or represent the red pill, but I need my red pill community to hear Uncle Stu. I understand you and I love you. And as a man, as an older man, I give you the grace that you are asking for. I give you the grace that you are asking for. I'm not going to condemn you because I understand I've been there. And by the grace of God, I came out and found a damn good woman in my life. And I believe that for you too. So much I can talk about, so much. I want to talk about Chris Rock. You know, I can relate to Chris Rock. Many of us men has been down the Chris Rock road. We've been there where we have went to jobs and been totally slapped by the very people that look like us, all because we went to work trying to do what? Put food on the table for our family. We've been to jobs and had to work at jobs where people that look like us, players, but because we was trying just to be a good husband or a good father, we had to go to work and be slapped and have our own integrity destroyed. And you know what's sad? Some of the women that we dated while going through the hell at our jobs gave us hell at home. You know, being in the military, they say, you can have a good job in a bad home, you'll make it. You can have a bad job in a good home, you can make it. But if you got a bad job in a bad home, you can't make it. And oh my God, has those words not come true? A lot of you say, Chris Rock should have hit him back. Chris Rock also tried to represent the total manhood and his total masculinity. But you know what? A lot of you black women, you couldn't be married to a Chris Rock neither. Because the moment a man would have slapped your man, and because your man wasn't trying to go to jail, and because your man wasn't trying to get locked up, because your man ain't out here trying to scrapple with another man, you would have called that man a punk. You would have called him a simp, and you would have called him weak. It takes a hell of a lot of strength not to strike back, at least the way you think he should strike back. Oh, y'all forgot all about your Dr. King speeches now. Oh, you forgot the Bible on the turn of the cheek now. There's a whole lot of my brothers that's had to take a whole lot of slaps for a whole lot of people, especially their women. See, regardless of what you think, Chris Rock not only took the slap, but what everybody forgot was it took a whole lot of strength to have to look his own daughter in the face. She was in that audience. How do you think he felt? He was trying to represent the highest level of black man too. That's why he's still an alpha. It takes a whole lot of strength, mental strength. That's not coming from a simpleton. He is not a simpleton. I think you know he got brothers. And I'm quite sure he got on the phone and told his brothers, stand down, stand down, stand down. There's a lot of us who was both Will Smith. There's a lot of us who are Chris Rocks. There's a lot of us that got little Jada Pickett's running around. Everybody says, well, Uncle Stu, what's the solution? My solution is that my black brothers learn to love yourselves. Learn to love you. Don't worry about trying to change a woman. You change you. Don't worry about trying to find female nature. Throw that garbage out the window. Worry about your nature. Don't worry about learning how to vet a woman. Vet yourself and be the best you can be. That's how you do it. You want to know how to do it? I want you to look in the mirror, gentlemen. I don't care where that mirror is. I don't care if you got to turn the mirror on your cell phone. You say, today, I value me. You put value on you, sir. You put value on yourself. You learn today, right now, whether you seeing me live or on the replay today, and you make sure you put it in my comments. Say, today, Uncle Stu, I value me. It's all right to be selfish today. You hear me, brothers? It's all right to be selfish today. Because Uncle Stu been there. There was a time he had to be selfish in order to be where he is today. It's all right to be selfish today. It's all right not to be sitting around here and trying to figure out a woman. Forget figuring her out. Work on you. Don't mean that you're broken. It just means that all you're going to do is shine up those little armors. We say in the Bible, put on the full armor of God. Now it's time to put on your armor. Angry Man's crew is called Be No Nation. They talk about they the 300. In here, we're the Emancipated Studios. This is the emancipated mind. This is where we come to get our minds renewed, to get a fresh word and a fresh anointing so that we can go out here and fight the battles that we need to fight. Some of you is fighting psychological battles. Some of you is fighting spiritual battles. Some of you is fighting intellectual battles. Some of you is fighting health battles. But I came here to help you through every single battle. And what I can't do, I got some brothers that is willing to fight the fight for you and with you. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Oh, they may be looking at a small platform, but I'm a small platform with a big mouth. And trust and believe in the words of Millennial Mark. They're either going to hear me now, they're going to hear me later, but they're going to hear from me. And I'm telling you right now, brothers, I ain't never simp or cat for any of y'all, but I love y'all, and that's why I came. That's why I'm here. Because I want to see the best for you. Doesn't matter how much money I make if you ain't making no money. I got fancy things. That's cute. But what good is it if my brother is hurting and he doesn't receive a positive word from me? What good is it that I'm running around with the best of cars and got the best of finances and got the best of life? This is my way of giving back to my brothers. Each one, teach one, and reach one. I can't save everybody, but those that want to be saved, get on this Noah's Ark right here. Don't worry about everybody that want to set up platforms to talk about people's mamas and brothers. And they got that energy to do the evil. Let them do it. But over here, we're about building. We're about building. Over here, we're about educating. Let the foolish be the fools. But if you're ready to live, let's live, and let's live right. Yeah, I saw what's going on YouTube. I see the foolishness that's going on YouTube. I know what certain YouTubers are going through. I know the pain of certain men and what they're going through because of foolishness of men. But my Bible says, let the dead bury the dead. So let them fools be fools. You learn, just as Angry Man said, you learn to now go back into your thing and say, you know what? Yo, man, I don't want to subscribe to you no more because I need a fresh word and a fresh anointing and someone that's going to do right by me. Don't you realize that the same content creators that will talk about me or talk about another content creator will talk about you too? Don't you realize that the same foolish content creator that will spend all day character assassinating another content creator, what do they have? What do they have? We have to learn to eat good food, both men and women. We need to learn how to eat good food that's coming from good ground, that's coming from good soil. And how do you know? Is it good? Keep watching. Keep listening. That's my wisdom. Some of it is just plain common sense. But I understand that sometimes my young people may not have the fortitude or the wisdom to really understand what is good. That's why I'm calling on my older men, clean this crap up, bro. Stop these foolish conversations and let's get down to the business of educating these young brothers. If you don't want to do it, no problem. I'm not even going to condemn you because I'm going to put in the work. I believe that my people are one of the most intelligent, educated people on the face of this earth. And you're not going to tell me any different. I know that the big platforms are the ones that's teaching buffoonery and acting silly. I know that the academias of these platforms, the Tiazon Johnsons and the Ikes and the Dr. Thunders, they don't get big cheering, roaring crowds. I got it. But over here, I'm going to try to make it educated. I'm going to try to make it fun. I'm going to keep it real. And for some of you that's new, one thing I want you to understand, I keep saying, when you subscribe to Uncle Stu, you're not a number to me. You're a human being. You're a human being. You're a person. You sit there, you write something in my comments, you best believe I'm going to respond. Y'all put it in the comments, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. I read them. You don't think so? There was a beautiful comment by a man named The Beautiful Lie. Wrote an awesome comment under Courtney Michelle's page that I did the video on. It was so powerful, I couldn't even comment. I had to contact her to go read the comment. It was that awesome. Salute to you. I promised that I was not going to be on here long. And I know I said a lot. I know I kind of bounced around. I probably would definitely have to visit this again. Oh man, thank you, sir. Thank you. Can y'all believe about 2 weeks ago, I was desperately trying to convince Uncle Stu to not leave the manosphere. Imagine us, ladies and gentlemen, missing out on this. I'm all in the watcher. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I want y'all to know that Brown Eyes will tell you I cry for y'all. I want y'all to know that Brown Eyes will tell you I pray for y'all. And sometimes y'all make Brown Eyes jealous. She be like, do you love them over me? I be like, nah, baby, nah, baby, nah, baby. But I do love y'all, man. I really do. I really do, man. You know, I came out here because, you know, all I want is solutions for y'all. That's it. Because I've been there, man. I know what it's like not to have a friend, a male friend. Man, I know what that's like. But today I got them, man. I got some ride or die dudes with me now. You know, I'm working my behind off. I'm making YouTube, you know, connections. And it's not connections to say, oh, look, I can get big YouTubers. It's not about the big YouTuber. It's about the relationship. It's about the relationship. It's about that brother that got your back while you got his. Because let me tell you something, brothers. There's going to be a time where we're all going to be in that place that Will Smith is in. And I don't want that for you. Because a lot of people is not going to be able to handle it the way it's going down. I'm aware of Chris Rock going to lawyers in New York. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of let me let y'all know that Uncle Stu can get a little bit lighthearted. You know, I gotta say this joke. Y'all know I got a heavy Christian background, a heavy ministry background. I've been preaching for over 22 years. I had to tell somebody in my comment section, it was like, man, you need to stop with that preacher's voice. I said, I hate to tell you, but I've been a preacher for 22 years, so it's kind of hard to take back the voice. You know, I got to go with Courtney Michelle talking about Jezebel spirits. And then all of a sudden, Black Men Unfiltered talking about Jezebel spirit. Boy, y'all got me putting on crosses and burning sage around this joint. Boy, y'all got them spirits just going. Everybody throwing out the Bible. I want to say that, brothers, it's all right to cry. I want to say to you, brothers, some people will go to the lowest levels to try to hurt you. But I want you to know that when I stepped into this arena, I stepped in the same way Tough Love stepped in. we knew that our people can be better. We stepped in knowing that we knew how to fight as army men. We knew how to do that. We was trained well to do that. And we got on YouTube as soldiers, as men. We wasn't trying to come out here to be the perfect man. We wasn't trying to come out here to say that we was all that in a bag of chips. We just want to help one more person. We just want to help that one more brother. We just want to help that one more sister. And I think both of us didn't recognize that there would be people who would attack us in ways that we couldn't fathom. We couldn't fathom that people would actually talk about his daughter and someone would talk about my dead son and call it content. Tough love, I feel you, bro. When you're a real father, number one rule of a father is to protect your child. And I get it. I'm right there with you, bro. I understand. I understand. So you got every right to shed a tear. You got every right to cry that pain. But just know, bro, you got me on YouTube and I'm here for you. And I cry with you. Because it does hurt, bro. It does. And sometimes black men has to understand that it is all right to cry. Because no one knows, tough love, what you've been through, just as no one knows what I've been through. So they don't understand where the strength come from. They don't understand where the love come from. They don't understand, tough love, as Jesus says, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They really don't understand because they've never seen unconditional love before. They never seen it, bro. And I had to recognize that some of my people, they never seen a man love. They don't know what it looks like. And so, bro, I'm right there with you on your live that you did today. I'm right there. I got you. You know that our biggest code is no man left behind. Tough love, I ain't gonna leave you behind, bro. I got you. We're gonna fight this fight together. We're going to get our people right. We're going to show them what unconditional love is, that we ain't got to get in the mud with every single person that comes up against us. We ain't got to be in the mud and talk about other people's children and their mama. We ain't got to go down like that. I'm not having drama over here. So if you don't like my son, you don't like my wife, you don't like my kids, oh well, cool. You don't think my wife look good enough for you? No problem. She don't fit all your little talking points? Okay. If you feel you got to get that dirty because I'm being a full man, all right. No problem. But I said it before and I say it again. No weapon formed or fashioned against me, it will not prosper. I didn't make it to 54 by being stupid. There's a whole lot that didn't make it to my age. And that's what I'm here to tell you men today. If you want to build up, I'm here to help you to build up. But you got to come real. You got to come right. You got to come exact. You tired of living with a woman? Come talk to Uncle Stu. You tired of the way your finances is? Don't lie and say you got 6 figures. I got the network that can help you to build that. Salute to Last Call for Insight. Thank you, sir. I got networks. I'm building. And I want to teach you how to build. One of the biggest lies is, oh, well, Uncle Stu, black people need networks and they need this. I'm going to just let y'all know the system is already built. The question is, are you ready to get on board? The system is already built. Are you ready to get on board? We'll do this step by step, brick by brick. One day at a time. I don't care if you're an alcoholic. We can do that one day at a time. I don't care if you're on drugs. We can do that one day at a time. I don't care about your mama and your daddy because we can build that one day at a time. I don't care about the white man in the sense of something called white oppression. I'm sorry, sir. We can build this one day at a time. I got the greatest reparations you can ever meet. My reparations is nothing but pure love. And it don't need no government begging for nothing. Well, listen, I have taken up a good hour of your time. Snuggles begging me to drop a link. Snuggles know that Snuggles ain't coming up on no platform. I got a little bit of strength. Do y'all want me to drop the link? Does anybody want to talk to me? Y'all let me know if y'all want me to drop the link. Let me give a big shout out to Angry Man. You know, he been rocking and rolling on this Will Smith stuff. And he been coming at so many angles that it's like, dang, dude, can you let a brother get some health in him so he can rock out with you? But you know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It keeps me as a small YouTuber motivated. Keeps me going, keeps me working, keeps me digging, keeps me loving just a little bit harder. If y'all want me to drop the link, somebody just say drop the link and I'll be glad to drop the link. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link. This is all I'm going to ask y'all to do. If you come, you know, I'm like everybody else. I ain't trying to have no channel taken away and doing foolish stuff. So if you do hit the link, just uncam up in the back. And then if you just want to be on the panel with me, you know, cammed up, I got you. And then thank you so much, my big sister, by 2 months with the $5 super chat. Super sticker, my bad. I can't even read. And love you too, Mr. Vaughn. You know, on your videos, you the one who comes in with the words of wisdom every time I got a live. But tomorrow, we're gonna do a short live, but it's going to be a live. So I want all of y'all to come out, and I want y'all to hear from beautiful Lies El Guapo. We're doing a double celebration. His birthday is coming up in 2 weeks, and he also just hit 20K, you know, just the other day. So we're going to just make sure that he has an awesome celebration in a way of being able to now get ready to go and travel and get us some good videos with him and LaBella. Oh, they getting ready to do it up. So y'all make sure that y'all come out here tomorrow night and celebrate El Guapo's 20K and his early birthday present. All right. Well, it doesn't look like anybody want to come up, but I just want y'all to know I love you. I hope I was able to give you some words of encouragement. Hope I was able to give you some things to think about, you know, some ways to look at this situation. I don't think there's anyone serious content creator that has looked at the Will and Jada and I can sit up there and go, well, they're wrong or they're bad or they're this or they're that. No, I think a lot of the great content creators did a fantastic job at looking at this case. And hey.
Hey.
All right. But as thank you, sir. But as I said, I don't really think any content creator that I have seen had really said anything negative or anything I don't agree with. I love all of these various points of views that I've heard on this situation. And I agree. This right here, y'all got this more on fire than y'all had Tasha K. I'm like, wow. But now I have people up on the stage, so let me get them. Got my big sister about 2 months. And I got Simon. He's usually in my chat, but today he showed up.
Peace, bro.
Peace, Simon. Talk to me.
I just really found your live really interesting. I'll just give you some overview comments.
Sure.
I don't know if you can hear me correctly.
Just turn up your mic just a little bit. If you can turn it up.
I'll try to do that. Yeah, you're right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So no, your whole stream was thoughtful, provoking, meaningful. I really like the direction you're going in. There's been a lot of stuff going on YouTube, obviously, but just from a human perspective, I think what you're doing is really enunciating for all the people that are watching. I guess that a lot of people from different places sort of watching you from different angles. So, and I know this manosphere thing can always sort of have a direction, but you seem to be able to relate to a wider audience, especially when it comes to the Christian crowd, which I actually really appreciate. So yeah, I mean, I just thought I'd bounce in and just give you perspective.
Well, thank you. I too had I've done many teachings on the Jezebel spirit, and I felt what Courtney Michelle did in enunciating the Jezebel, I felt that was thorough enough. So I figured with that being said, I give her platform and give her props, because I think she did it the way I would have done it too, and because of that, it's like, hey, y'all want to learn about the Jezebel spirit? You go over there and you watch the video. I think I'll make sure I put it on my community tab, because at the time that I was watching it all, the stream wasn't done yet. So, I like to, flip people to the community tab when I know that they did the stream. So I'm gonna make sure that video she did dealing with the Jezebel spirit, because she was really talking about Jada Pickett, that you get to see that. But yeah, I definitely will be addressing, a lot more of the community-based issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely do that. And I'm listening to y'all as well. I mean, I don't want to be out here and talking about subjects that you're not interested in. At the end of the day, I have to be able to bring value to this space, and be able to make sure I'm giving proper understanding and proper information, to advance whomever is listening, so I really appreciate that.
You're totally doing that. I mean, the facts you're spitting and the perspective you're giving, I think, will last generations. I mean, I didn't really. Well, I will, but I won't touch on the thing about sort of like the older generation versus the younger generation thing, and how we need to sort of actually come to some sort of mutual bridge where we're having a conversation where it doesn't become some sort of clash. That's quite interesting in itself. Yeah, but you're totally right about Courtney. Like Courtney, you know, the way she sort of went about the whole Jezebel spirit thing was a different angle and a needed angle in terms of you know, how we're looking at this whole Will Smith situation, because everyone was just sort of going on really from my perspective a promotional angle, just bringing up sort of videos about how they can bring their views up and all the rest of it without actually tackling the real issue.
Well, you know, again, if I had to sum it up, the issue is, where are we now? You understand what I'm saying? The issue is, where are we now? And when I say where are we now, meaning, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and do a 1 hour live and just beat up Jada Pinkett.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that, because I need to move on from that, you know, trying to make a woman change stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Make a change. You understand what I'm saying? I got daughters. Hey, when they want to get stubborn, ain't nothing I can do. So if we get out, if we stop the energy of trying to make a woman change, and we change. Now,
yeah,
you know,
totally agree with you on that. I mean, I've been trying to sort of push the thing of men trying to understand women for quite some time. I don't know. It's just something that's, you know, a harder topic to counter. Everyone sort of like throws up these pictures of Jada and sort of goes, okay, Jada's this and, you know, Will Smith's that. But I don't know if you've had any real life experience with people of that nature. It's just not that straightforward. I mean, I've been in situations like that personally, but I also know people that are in that situation. I don't really, you know, I don't want to bring up an OG situation, like OG produce situation, but I know people that are close to them. Mm-hmm. It's just not that thing like that we as ordinary people or citizens experience. Is a completely different thing. So you know, that's just a completely different conversation at the same time. But in the same sense, the relation that we have as citizens and seeing that happen, it makes us think about our own life, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go, okay, you know, is this something that can happen if I get to that point in life? Like I become successful, am I going to be with someone? How am I going to choose the right person? X, Y, Z. Then you bring it forth to the man and the woman. Are women at that point? So, you know, what we see is sort of like a display of disillusion, based on what? And unfortunately, many men have experienced this in their marriages, you know, because women are covered. They don't really need to sort of, and I don't want to get at all women. I'm not saying all women like this.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's just a different juxtaposition. So, you know, sometimes they have a lot of time on their hands to think about things that men don't have because men are busy doing stuff. And then, you know, they can form their own ideas about things, which doesn't necessarily weigh to the advantage of the man or their marriage or their circumstances, because they're always thinking about the next thing, when the man is totally focused on the core of what their family is, because the family's been born, they have their children. And that's what the drive initially is in the first place.
Yeah. Mr. Rucker, I just want you to know, Brown Eye's been missing you. She misses your prenup statements. So I just want you to know, Brown Eyes love you. So salute, Mr. Rucker, salute. Okay. Go ahead, T. See, Will has been trying to change Jada when she told him she didn't want to marry him. I'm gonna correct that. Washington, there is documentation that says she was happy when Will married her at the time because she claimed, it was kind of the good thing. So no, she had a chance to say no, and she didn't. Okay, TJ.
Good evening. You said you was gonna give a different perspective, and you surely did, brethren. Uh, definitely did. And I just, I went and looked up something that I talked about on my show before. When you talked about red pill rage, and it
Okay.
says red pill and blue pill refers to the choice between the willingness to learn a potentially unsettling or life-changing truth by taking the red pill or remaining in contented ignorance with the blue pill. So,
Right.
in my opinion, if Will is experiencing red pill rage, it's because he is coming to grips with the unsettling or life changing reality of his life and
Hmm.
the existence of the marriage, whatever it is or is going to be. And
Yeah.
that is very unsettling because, again, to accept that versus being in the contented ignorance of the blue pill why everything is great.
Right.
So, since you're talking about men, and of course I'm not a man, so I really can't go into it, but I will say that, yeah, I will agree with you that he is a good man, and he definitely is a good man. And I'm not going to
Mhm.
say but, I'm going to say and. Knowing that he's a good man, what does he do now? And I think that is the point, or something that definitely needs to be considered. And I say that, and I'm very grateful because I'm Mrs. Randolph number three. Mrs. Randolph number two, she, I guess one might say, she had that kind of Jada Pinkett type of spirit where Mr. Randolph was concerned, and he's a good man, and she did not value him. You know, so I said, I wish I could meet her so I could say thank you. because because because
Yeah.
she didn't value, I said thank you. But it's true. Sometimes we women, we do say we want a good man, and we have an idea of what we think that's supposed to look like.
Hmm.
And just like Will couldn't change her, she can't change him.
Hmm.
So either you appreciate the person that is before you or you don't.
Yeah.
Um, and in this case, when I was fortunate enough, and you said something earlier in your point, and again, I'm not a man, but I remember when you were talking about that all of us, in some shape, form, or fashion, could have been Will Smith. That for all the things that we did right, to build our career to a certain point, it takes one misstep that can wreck it all. And I think the thing for me was, I shared with you, was that time that I was once I was in that bad relationship that ended violently,
Right.
my whole life changed. I could never get back to the same person that I was before that.
Yeah.
So what I found was, in situations that I would normally be able to handle, I would get easily agitated. I would snap on people, all these kinds of things. So I saw my career coming to a place that if I didn't do something, I would have wrecked everything I worked for. Whether I would have snapped on somebody or gotten some type of disciplinary action because I could not manage the way I could before that incident. So I made the decision that I had to do something different. So again, I had to take the red pill, if you
Right.
will, to
Right.
come to the realization that I was not well enough to do the things that I had been doing because my life had been altered by another person who I chose, who was
Right.
not worthy of being chosen. So
Hmm.
I had to do what needed to be done. In that case, take care of myself and get, like you're talking about, telling these men to focus on themselves, to
Hmm.
value themselves. So if and when that person, that woman presents herself, she will be able to recognize the kind of man you are, and you'll be able to recognize the kind of woman she is, and if that woman is going to be right for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in Will Smith's situation, as I stated before, I don't know who his best friend is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so when I say this man is totally isolated, he's isolated. I'm hoping somebody like, a Denzel Washington, or what I'm saying, could be able to kind of get him and kind of wrap him up. I'm hoping a TD Jakes, because again, we got to recognize that these people are in a whole different sphere than you and I is. That maybe TD Jakes can wrap him up, and kind of get him in an isolated place where he can really get healing. Right now, I feel for him because, heck, this is a man that literally you could just say everything he worked for is gone. It is gone. There is no. It is. I don't know if you remember Michael Jackson talking about when they accused him of doing certain things, he could never go back to the home he built. That great was a Grace Mansion. He could never go back because it was tainted.
It was Neverland.
Neverland, right? Neverland. He could never go back to Neverland, and he never did. He never did. That man could never look at that Oscar in honor ever again. So you're looking at a man that lost his entire work. No one will ever remember Will in any of the movies he played. It's all going to be the slap. It's all going to come down to this. We talk about prenuptial agreements, and I didn't say this in the thing, but one thing a prenup can't protect you from is your name. It can protect your financial assets, but it can't protect your name. So he can give Jada everything, but his name is destroyed. His name is marred. And again, if he is like many men I know in that position, they're alone. They don't have any male friends. They don't have anyone they can talk to, cry on, nothing. So he is really in that alone state. And then you're looking at, like you said, the repercussions. You still got lawsuits out there that might be pending. You're looking at this woman and she's still acting like a buffoon in all it. So you still ain't got nobody watching your back.
Well, what I'm hopeful for is this, because I spoke about it, and I'm thinking about Robin Williams, and I pray that it does not end that way for him. Sometimes I think that it is necessary for people to hit whatever their rock bottom is for them to realize, okay, because chances are, even, to use my own example, God had been tapping me on the shoulders, telling me I needed to do something, and I wasn't listening.
Right.
So either he'll keep tapping you on the shoulder, or he will push you down. But either way, he's going to get your attention. So, there's been some ramping up. Some things that we know that has been put out there, but obviously some things that we don't know. There's been a ramping up, and chances are, maybe some of the things he alluded to in his book, and then again, things that, that still remain private, but there's been a ramping up, and maybe this straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, may be that's going to require him to sit down finally and do some serious soul searching and work, because again, he can get his career back, but it will never be the same.
No. Think about, I think about several men. I think about when Richard Pryor actually went to Africa and he said, "I'll never use the N-word again." Once he made that statement, his career was never the same. When Michael Jackson started doing all these videos about Africa and all the country and the beauty of Africa, his biggest pain was that when things happen, he loved people so much that literally he was deteriorating on the inside. I think Will Smith is in the same position. I don't think everybody understands that this man was trying to love outside of his own marriage, his people. He wanted to make us be proud of him. He wanted to be, if I'm not saying that he's ever said this, but if I had to use the example, he was right there as the next Denzel Washington. And now it's all gone. So there's so many other men that I know has been there. Come to work, and next thing you know, that one thing, and then you be trying to figure out, well, how did this dude all of a sudden delete 6-7 people? One decision. I'm not justifying it, but it's like, hey, if you don't want to be with that brother, tell him, leave him, let him go. Don't keep, and then try to be in, because I had that happen to me. Oh, well, I didn't tell you to do this to me. I didn't tell you to do. Well, wait a minute. You telling me to do it every time you accept it. So if you don't want a man to give you flowers, don't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want a man to take it, don't accept it. And because today that man is sane, we don't know what the hell he's going to be tomorrow. Stop playing. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Will Smith is just somebody we see publicly.
Right.
How many Will Smiths are walking around us daily?
I've seen it before I retired. I've seen several in my former workplace that sometimes they even scared me. I'm like, okay, just if this manager say this one more thing to this person, we might have to evacuate this building. Seriously.
But
Seriously.
how many, okay, you and I have been in the military. How many, now how it go? The military incidents that never get reported outside that military base, how many came home and it wasn't good? It wasn't good. And these dudes didn't come back from a combat.
Yeah.
They may have just done a 30-day training and hey, we get to come back 2 days early and
Yeah.
it wasn't good.
So that is my prayer again. But I think definitely that this is your message to me, and I think it's so important. I mean, we talk about women all the time that they need to value themselves and understand what they're worth. I think it's important that we definitely reassure and encourage our men as to what they're worth. And like you said, that if you are in a situation that you are beholden to some woman, you need to do some self-work so you don't have to be there. So you can be empowered yourself. I like I said, I'm grateful that she did what she did. I call it number two. I call it number two because she didn't realize what kind of a man that she had.
That's right.
And what I'm grateful for is that the things that I had gone through that led me to him, I was able to see what kind of man he was to appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I've shared, had I been a couple of years, I would have messed it up. I'm not saying I would have been jaded because I ain't never been selfish like that. Right. But I've been, I've been pretty, headstrong and pretty mouthy. So,
right.
Yeah. So,
but that goes with me as well. I mean, I'm not gonna let you be out there by yourself. If I would have met Brown Eye 4-5 years ago, it would have been a wrap. I wasn't ready for that. I was. I tell other brother, I was a hit and quit it dude. I know about the pumping and dumping. Yeah, I get raw now. I gotta let these brothers know. Uncle Stu was down there in that area. But why was I with the pumping and dumping? Because I wasn't mentally ready. I was lashing out. Listen, I was hurt. I was angry. I was confused. Once I got it together, I was like, nah, I don't want that. No, you trying to give it to me on one night? Nah. Well, you can't even speak a properly correct sentence. Because I knew what it took for me to get here.
Did you say, was it you or Simon that said that, sometimes men, when they know things are not right at home, they pour themselves into their work and they become the best of the best at work, and part of and we don't know if that's the case, but I do know, Mr. Randolph said at one point with number two that, he would stay on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
stay on the road
Mhm.
because just to the foolishness. And again, like I said, my goal was to make sure that when he leaves, he can't wait to get back to me. Not
Right.
that he want to stay gone,
Right.
not that he want to stay gone, you
But
know.
yeah, that's very true. You'll find men, they got 9 to 5s. Next thing you know, they working 8 to 6, 7 to 8. They taking on projects that like you taking on, but the reality is that's what's going on.
Say we
That's
need a volunteer. I'll volunteer.
yeah,
Totally correct. Totally correct.
yeah. You know. All right, Mr. Vaughn, Army vet in the house. Salute, salute.
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening, sir?
Either one. Yeah.
Let me turn this off in the background. How are you? How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Good,
Doing
good.
well.
Good. TJ, good to see you. Simon, awesome. Yeah, this is a topic that I've been listening to and moderating to for the past. How long has it been now? A week or so?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, 2 weeks. Yeah, it's crazy because my thoughts on the subject, they're very inherent. So I can see both sides of the situation. I can understand why Will Smith responded and reacted the way he did. Not to say that I agree with his actions, because I definitely don't. Anytime that you assault anybody, it is not in order. Do you know what I'm saying? But because of his underlining issues that everybody's been discussing, and all of the pressures of life that he's had to have to endure, just like myself, okay? I can remember times on a job. I say, oh, and I'm not prejudiced, but there was a time where I would lose jobs based on racism, you know? And a lot of times it came from Filipinos, okay? And there was a time when I actually said, if I get fired by one more Filipino, and I actually meant this, you know, I'm going to tear something up.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
that's
Because
real.
you have absolutely no concern for my family and my livelihood, and you're on some BS right now. Do you know what I mean? And
Yes.
and I'm here trying to provide a service for you the best way that I can. And but at the same time, as much as these accounts would occur, I could not allow myself to get to a point of violence, because see, now I know that that's truly going to affect my family. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to be sitting on the curb with my son and my wife, and we both, all of us, staring at each other because I'm not able to provide for them, because I hauled off and just went off and wasn't really in control of my emotions at the time.
Right.
There's plenty of consequences behind our actions, and sometimes instead of reacting, we need to stop and think and maybe give a response. You see what I'm saying? So I'm a little indifferent about the a couple of things about, I know that love covers a multitude of sin, and I can sympathize with some of the things that Will Smith has gone through,
Right.
but at the same time, like I put in the chat, when I was younger, the elders would teach us, and they would say, don't let your good be evil spoken of. Like, what do they mean by that? Don't allow the things that you do good to turn around and be evil spoken of. In other words, if you have a good reputation, you know what I'm saying? And if
Yeah.
you made strides and have made accomplishments and made great efforts and accomplishments, don't allow your actions to cause all of that good to be evil spoken of. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm a little indifferent about this. Some people say it's Jada's fault, and because she gave him the eye, and she's controlling him, and you know, and she's Jezebel and all of these things. You know, these spirits do not have and I'm sorry for the background noise, my wife is doing something, but these spirits don't have a gender. You know, they can attach themselves to anybody at any given moment.
You're
You know
right.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so when we put a picture on it, you know, if I put a picture up of TJ and say, hey, you know, I want you to recognize this spirit. We all have had of spirits that we have had to have corrected in our lives. You know what I'm saying? So she's wrong on some of her end, and I agree that he is wrong as well. You
Mhm.
know, I hear a lot about Will Smith and Jada Pickett, but I really don't hear a lot about this brother Chris Rock. You know how humiliating that must have been for him. You see what I'm saying? And didn't you somebody say on this stream that his daughter was sitting in the audience or something like that?
Yeah,
You know,
I spoke about Chris Rock, and I equate him to a lot of us men who has been in that Chris Rock situation. I mean, you know, to be
mhm.
open-handedly slapped in
Yeah,
public,
yeah,
and you have to stand there and take it is you know that's an alpha man. That's a
yeah,
whole lot to take. You know, that's going back
yeah,
to the Dr. Martin Luther King day of
yeah,
turn the other cheek. But then
yeah,
you also got to remember, you know, his family is there. You know, this man was
yeah,
humiliated, you know, before a lot, and with that humiliation, this man still had to stand there because guess what? He got to feed his family too.
exactly. And see, here's the thing. I mentioned this on another stream before. Uh, you know, say if I can I give this quick scenario? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So say that you're on your job and you already know you're 2 months behind on the rent and you're trying to catch up with your car note, but yet you're faithfully going into that job, right? And
Right.
I mean, the balance of your family weighs in the balance of you providing this income. This job is very important for you
Right.
as to the survival of your family. So now
Mm-hmm.
here's the scenario. So say you get to work one day and you know, Bill decides that, you know, he's got an attitude that day. So he tries to tell you, well, why don't you go home to your bitch ass wife? So now you're calling my wife a particular name that's very, very offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and and those are fighting words to a lot of us men. Definitely fighting words. Just like, you know, he made a statement about Jada. You know,
Right.
some of these words are very offensive. Now I have two options here. You see what I'm saying? I
Right.
could I could pull him into the office and express to the supervision how unacceptable his approach was to me and that make sure that it doesn't happen again, right? Or I could, man, haul off and slap the dog out of him
Mm-hmm.
right there in the break room.
Right.
And when they pull us both into the office, guess who's going home that day?
Right.
Who's
Right.
going home? Me. And when I get home, what do I tell my wife? Well, honey, he called you a bitch, so that's why I had to go off. You know, I'm not going to sit up and let nobody disrespect you like that. You see what I'm saying? And so she probably feels like, well, wow, you know, what we going to do now? You
Mhm.
see what you know what I'm saying? All based upon I responded inappropriately and became too emotional about it because see, you call my wife one, I can call your wife one.
Right.
Now, whoever throws the first swing, let that be the reason. See, because you're not going to send me home if I'm protecting myself, if
Right.
it's self-defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we all have these consequences to our actions. Man, I'm telling you, it is so important for us to understand that, you know, you just can't haul off and act out irresponsibly on your emotions because it's going to cost you something. And now, as you see, it is really costing him something. Not only just his reputation, but his bag is being tampered with. You know, his opportunities are being tampered with. And some people say, well, he's got enough money, so big deal. You know, but then you're missing the principle of it. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. Now, he could have pulled the brother to the back. He could have walked up there and put his hand on his shoulder and whispered in his ear and said, hey, partner, let me tell you this. Don't say nothing else about my wife or it's going to be something. And went back and sat down.
Can I let me intervene on that? Because like I said, although I've been watching the videos. Here's the whole thing. Number one, he laughed.
Yes, he did.
He laughed, and it wasn't one of them chuckle laughs, you know, fake. He laughed. It wasn't until the look that he did what he did. And see, you're right, Vaughn, because there is going to be more teachings on this. I may not necessarily use the Jada situation, but a lot of my brothers, and I'm talking about even our age and below, these are lessons we've never been taught. I know I've never been taught it. You understand? So it ain't never been a lesson of when do you stand and fight and when do you stand and not fight.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? How do you fight? Go ahead, TJ.
That's good.
I just looked at something. I don't know if it's true. I just see a thumbnail, the angry man that Chris Rock is filing a lawsuit against Will Smith.
Yes. I said that earlier. He's in New York. He went to the biggest law firm in New York that deals with big, high profile companies and cases. And he's in New York talking to the lawyers. Because let's be honest, this is a lawsuit. This ain't a, yo, bro, I forgive you. I'm going back. You're on a whole different level. Dude, you'd embarrass me. The Academy embarrassed me. You know, my family is embarrassed. My brothers is in. This has repercussions beyond him standing there on that stage. He's taking this to a whole nother level, which is a good level. And a lot of black men, you need to recognize everybody ain't going to fight the way you think they're going to fight.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
They're not going to fight the way you're going to fight. You sitting up here and you doxing people and you doing this and I got guns. A lot of brothers ain't there's a whole army out here of people who got guns. Thank you. I'm going to hit you in your pocket. And if you ain't got this, there's some prisons that's waiting on you. I ain't gotta fight you. There's some you want to talk about police now? Yeah, I'm snitching. I'm calling them. Here you go. This is what he look like. This is where he at. Here you go. Because the prison system, they'll never be tired of y'all.
But you know what, Uncle Stu? You know, so many of our young men, and I just want to say black men, because I want to speak to us.
Okay.
Because, you know, it is about us.
Right.
You know, there's no racism involved in that. But at the same time, a lot of our young black men have lost their lives because of this type of stuff right here.
Yes.
Because you're trying to impress your wife or your girlfriend. You know, you're more so you're protecting your ego. That's what you're doing. Because some things you need to walk away from. Some things you just need to know to walk away from. You know, and then there is a time, even the Bible said there's a time for everything. So there is a time to fight.
And I think the struggle is, Vaughn, is again, we have to get out as older men and we have to have the tough conversation. And those are the tough conversations that we're not having. And we have to admit that those are conversations that, you know, times have changed. I mean, I'm surrounded by my dad. I was surrounded by my uncles, my cousins. You know, I wasn't no punk. If I went to middle school, high school, and I ran home and said somebody hit me and I didn't do nothing, I was gonna get beat up by them. So guess what? We were gonna fight. But now, you know, but now you can't afford to fight because back then I could fight you and it's over. Yeah. Hey, you got to worry about the brother, the niece, the nephew. Is he connected to a gang, a clique, or what? You see what I'm saying? So you can lose your life defending being bullied. today.
Your life and or your freedom. And like I said, I need Mr. Randolph above ground and free.
I heard you say that. I heard her say that before.
I
That's
mean,
right.
think about it, Vaughn. I could have went that direction.
Oh, we all could, man. Listen, we all could have been there.
You know, I could have easily went that direction, but what would I've lost? What would I've gained?
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
was good in the moment, but in the end, what would I have gained?
Now, here's what I would like to say about the other side of it is, well, you know, Will Smith has done a lot of great things, and he has been a good example in so many other ways, you know, and so he is a human being that is deserving of forgiveness. You see what I'm saying? Me, I can just speak for myself. Me as a fan, you know, I can forgive him for what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that there's a lot of deep-seated things going on there.
Right.
That he, it just came up to it just came up to a head. And sometimes this is how we act out when we have to release these things, because we've held them in so in an unhealthy way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, my prayers are still with Will Smith and his family, as well as Chris Rock and his family.
Right. Well, like I said, it's some of the lessons that I'm going to be teaching on this platform is value. I'm not doing the way Crimson Cure does it, because she has a whole system called the lost value system. And, I'm only going on dealing with it from the perspective of, I just want my men to value the God they believe in. I don't care if they're Christian, Muslim, Jewish. I don't care about that at the moment. I want you to learn to really love the God you serve, as well as begin to love you. Because one of the things in my observation, men love God, women love church. And I'm going to say it again. Men love God, women only love church. And I'm going to give that message about those two things. Because, see, real men that love God, women love
that's
church.
deep. That's deep, Uncle Stu.
Yeah.
That's a pretty deep concept.
Well, because do you ever hear a man say, I want a woman who's a woman of God? You don't care about that. But you always hear a woman say, I want a man of God. But then I ask women, do you know what a man of God is when you see it? And the answer
I do.
You do.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Why I can say
That's
that
a good
most
question.
people know a man of God when they see it, because they think the man of God is supposed to be in some building and being vetted by their pastor. And so that's already a twisted spiritual concept. But I'll talk about it at not too very close in the future.
Well, Uncle Stu, I'm gonna go ahead and get off so I can finish doing my man of God's laundry.
All right.
Always
Good
a
night.
pleasure, TJ. Always a
You
pleasure.
too. Good night. Good night, Simon. Good night, bye.
Yeah, I got a bounce too. I mean,
Okay, it's been a
you guys brought up some really interesting points, and I think obviously it's an ongoing conversation. With Jada, I mean, what can we say? I mean, I think many men, I think the views of many men have been that we wouldn't want a woman like that in our lives. I mean, that's the baseline of it. And we feel for Will Smith in terms of him being such an icon in our lives. Like, we look up to someone like that, someone who has, stood on the highest mountains. He stood on the highest buildings. He's demonstrated the capability of black men and brought that forth to the globe. And when we see the juxtaposition he's in, but to bring it back a bit, I think, like, ultimately, and I've said this before, and it's kind of controversial, that when you're in that position, you do it for your family. Because, like, I've been in position with my marriage, and what it boiled down to was I was just looking at my child. I wasn't looking at my wife. I was just looking at my child, and I was just thinking, how
Right.
do we do this? Do you get what I'm saying? And then you lean towards your network, then you lean towards the men that are around you, then you start to think about the greater outer world. And I think, you know, sometimes you can snap, sometimes things happen. You don't want it to happen like that, but it does happen, and people don't really understand, you know, the global mind state when you're in that situation. And unfortunately, that's just what it is, because you put yourself in that position and you acquire that sort of wealth based on that position. Like if Uncle Stu was the best footballer in the world, he would be the best footballer in the world. When we, do you get what I'm saying? And he'd have a global position, and he, you know, he'll probably be having different types of conversations on this platform, you know, with different types of people, you know. But in terms of where we're at now, the world's shifted dramatically. And I think that actually contributed a lot to Will's decision in what he did, in terms of how he messed that whole situation up with his friend.
Yeah.
And I love you,
Yeah.
Uncle
Hey, I
Vaughn.
love you too. And look,
Will
I
people, man.
still
All
could
right, Simon.
kick a soccer ball around, Simon. They don't know that football to you is soccer. You know, I got it. All right, so
Peace
I
out, man.
appreciate you. All right. Yeah, Mr. Vaughn.
Yes,
I think
sir.
now I can get out of here.
Yeah, man, I was reluctant to get up here because I was like, I don't want to disagree with Uncle Stu. You know, that's my guy.
But it's all right. I mean, if you see something at a different angle, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, again, I came at one angle, you know, and it allows me to know what type of videos I need to drop next week, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll be a little bit stronger, and, you know, I'll be all right.
Well, I appreciate you, Uncle Stu, for having me on. And, you know, peace and blessings to you. I know you're going to go on to do great things. As usual, another great show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Have a good one, Mr. Vaughn. And to everybody, if you are not subscribed to this channel, you're going to start getting more conversations out of me, as far as that. I'm also going to be trying to work on a schedule where I'll be dropping, you know, I'll be dropping videos. You know, it's going to be more towards the education and, you know, trying to put together a small weekly man panel. We're going to be talking about various topics and allowing y'all to, you know, participate in those conversations. So I just want you to know, again, subscribe to the channel, hit the like, definitely share this video, you know, have those conversations. And like I said, if there's anything I've said tonight, throw it in my comment section. You know, let me know either A, what you think, what you feel, you know, let me know what's going on. If there's any subject or any situation that I spoke about that you want me to go further in depth on, let me know that too, so we can get that out here. So like I say, I'm getting well, I'm getting better, and, you know, I'm getting back on point. So this is it. This is Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. I love y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and definitely share. Peace.